What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It is Tuesday evening, and the great one is about to get a shower because he stinks. Just keeping it real, when you work out, you build up a little bit of sweat. The reason being I'm making this video is I've had a couple of people ask me and they've seen some of my previous Greg Doucette videos as far as me promoting his book and everything. And some people think I was mocking him or making fun of him or so forth. I need to get things cleared up. No, I wasn't making fun of him whatsoever. I mean, he has the thing I make fun of Greg with, and I'll just be honest with you, is just his voice. His voice is high enough to break fucking glass there. I kid you not. The funny thing is that his voice used to not be that high, years ago. So I guess it's just for YouTube revenue or anything. But I'm going to tell you guys this little story as far as to how I learned about Greg Doucette. And it wasn't during the YouTube stage or anything like that. You see, about let's go back in time a little bit. You see, back in the early 2000s, before there was YouTube or anything like that, most people, such as the great one, we made money off of writing articles there. So I wrote a lot of articles at the time for a number of minor publications. No, not Iron Man or Muscular Development or anything, because I was trolling at the time. So I had to ghostwrite and write bundled articles. Those articles would be sold, of course. I wrote a bunch of nutritional articles about green tea and shit like that. But I'm getting off subject. One other thing I did do is I wrote for a number of online magazines as well. That was another way you can make revenue. So most of the time I was covering bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. Just typical shit that most other people during that era did, from the late 90s to 2000. All right. So here's the thing, people. The one thing in the bodybuilding industry that most people look out for is what we call a fucking giant killer. What is a giant killer? A giant killer is someone who takes an overall show and is not either a heavyweight or a super heavyweight. Because typically in most bodybuilding shows, the overall winner of that show is either a heavyweight or a super heavyweight. Sometimes they will be a light heavyweight there, But that's generally the majority of overall winners in most bodybuilding shows are heavyweights or super heavyweights, period. Okay? So, it was around 2007. I was writing articles, and I had a buddy of mine, former buddy, we'll just call him Matt. He ran a now defunct website, bodybuildingpro.com. He goes and hits me up and says, and it's a Canadian site, by the way. He hits me up. He's like, Vince, did you see the Canadian Natural Championships? I'm like, no. Why the fuck do I give a shit about Canada? I'm from America. I don't cover Canadian shit. You can cover it. I cover U.S. shows. No, Vince, did you see the winner list? I'm like, no. Again, how many times I got to fucking explain to you? I don't keep track of Canadian shows. Well, they got this guy that was an overall winner at the Canadian Natural Championships. His name was Greg Doucette. I'm like, big fucking deal. And then he tells me this thing that pretty much shocked me. He's like, but he competed as a light middleweight. I'm like, you trying to tell me that a fucking middleweight won a fucking overall bodybuilding show? A major one? Are you fucking kidding me? Then I go and look at the pictures. I'm like, I can see why he won now. So, And that's the thing. That's how I learned about Greg Doucette. This motherfucker competed as a middleweight and wins an overall show, a natural show at that. There, and not one of these bumfuck regional shows or anything like that. He wins the Canadian National Championships, or excuse me, Canadian Natural Championships. There's a big difference. I'll get to that in a minute there. And he wins as a fucking middleweight. That shit is not supposed to happen, people, in bodybuilding shows. I'm like, all right, Matt, we got business here. So I checked them. Like I said, I checked it out. I'm like, and then I looked at some of his previous shows, and he's placed high. He won, I think, welterweight or lightweight division in the Muscle Mania championships, which they promote themselves as natural, but well, we won't touch base on that there. So I didn't really keep up with them that much there afterwards. That was just that one instance where I first heard the name Greg Doucette. Was this fucking middleweight goes and beats every motherfucker that's on stage to win an overall championship. Just doesn't happen. That's a giant killer. That's a Danny Padilla. That's a fucking Franco Columbo. That's a Frank Zane there, Little people are not supposed to win overall shows. Only big guys are supposed to, or so they say. Here we go. So that's how I learned about Greg Doucette, and you guys can go and look at his fucking career and everything like that. He did turn pro. The only problem is that, and I guess he can explain it to you. I don't think I saw some of his shows, and of course, naturally, he wasn't too successful because, he competed in an era too early. I think if he was born like maybe 5 or 10 years later, he could have been doing Classic and these other shows that are now out there. But with the time period before that was even popular, Greg had no choice as an IFBB pro to compete with the regular big guys there. So he was stacked up with competition. He didn't have no fucking chance here, He would have had to do some real crazy shit to even have a chance, but I think it's probably better for him that he took a dip or anything. And by the time he did one Classic show, I mean, it's too late. He's already been competing for almost 20 fucking years here, So, as far as things are concerned, this isn't an ass-kissing session. This is just my personal opinion. You people think I ridicule and mock the guy. I mock his voice here and that fucked up hairline. But I'm definitely not going to mock his chops, his competitive record or anything. It's impeccable. He's won a lot of shows, Like I said before, that 2007 show, middleweight, winning an overall show. He turns pro and stuff like that at his size, and he's had a very respectable career, a whole lot better than mine. Because man, I had a real shitty career, but at least I tried. He was out there whooping some ass there, And given the fact that a lot of these trainers and personal trainers, they come around, they ain't got no certifications or anything like that. Okay, they may be approved by ACE or ISNA. I had an ACE at one time and stuff like that, and I have my personal training certificates. Greg has like a master's in kinesiology there. He has an actual real bona fide certified degree. So he knows what he's doing, and he's proven that he knows what he's fucking doing, I'm just keeping it real and telling like it is here. You have book smart, and then his competitive record is street smart. So you have someone that has book smart and street smart, So when I tell people to go and say buy the book, I'm not fucking just mocking him or anything like that. If I wanted to mock him, which I mock him for, I mock that fucked up hairline he has and that high pitched voice that can break glass and probably break a couple of rocks, even my scented candle glass. I think the last time I played one of Greg Doucette's video, he broke one of my fucking candles. Thanks a lot. You owe me fucking $14, motherfucker. But seriously, people, here's the thing. I don't need his book because I'm a kind of a boring dieting type person. I will eat asparagus and chicken breast, 5 days a week, for 12 weeks there because I'm just that disciplined if I need to. I mean, most of my meals nowadays are kind of boring anyway. I'll have everything with asparagus. Food is just food to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat sweets or anything like that. I mean, I'm a hardliner. I could stick to a fucking diet. And, I have my skills and everything like that. But in the event that I would ever hire someone or get someone to consult with, if I was ever going to do a bodybuilding show, Greg Doucette would be in my back pocket there. He'd be one of the 5 people on my hand that I would actually get to actually do my bodybuilding, some prep work and everything like that. I'm just saying. So, guys, I appreciate you thinking that I'm always mocking Greg there. Like I said, I'm a comedian. I tell jokes there. It's all about the mints. But, I had to set things straight that when I tell people to go buy the fucking book, it's a good fucking book. It's good for people that ain't fucking disciplined enough to follow diets or anything like that. It's a good fucking book. It costs a lot of money. It's still a fucking good book. I mean, how much is your health worth? Just saying. And I'm not going to post the links. Greg Doucette, he can do his own fucking advertising and shit. This is an advertisement. I'm just clearing a few things up so that way people don't think that I think that Greg Doucette is a fucking asshole. He's not a fucking asshole. He's a smart fella, He's a smart cookie, He knows his shit there. He knows diet. He knows exercise. He knows all this shit. He'll even fucking help you pee if you need it to, But other than that, fix your goddamn hairline there, Greg. I mean, seriously. I get me some clippers, man. I got clippers, anytime, next time I'm at an expo and I see you, I'm going to get my clippers out. I'm put that sheet over across your body and I'm going to zzz. We're going to clean up that hairline there, But like I said, he is a smart cookie, people. If, he knows what he's fucking talking about, Just saying. That's all I got to say today, people. Take care.